Hey, I'm Stephen Cox at the real North Idaho. I'm here at the Nazarene Church in Coeur. Let's go talk to Pastor Mark and see what's going on here. Mark, can you tell me about the core beliefs and the mission statement for your church?
So the Church of the Nazarene has a unique history. We're a Wesleyan Holiness church, and so when it comes to our core beliefs really hinge on our view of the love of God for all of creation, for all of humanity. And so the biggest core belief of the Church of the Nazarene is as a people, we can learn to truly lean into and not only rely on the love of God for our salvation, for our sanctification, but we can also be agents of that love in our community. And so, there's a lot of nuance of that, but that would be like an overarching umbrella of the core belief of the Church of the Nazarene is our deep understanding of the love that God has for us and of His desire that we learn to love others in that same way. Yeah.
What would you describe the worship style and the atmosphere in the church?
So worship is an interesting thing for me. I'm a musician, so I've been playing, I've got like 4 guitars over here on the other side of the office, but I've been engaged in music since I was a kid. So music is a very important part of my life. Worship and music are not the same thing. So when you talk about the style of worship, so we want to teach our people that worship is a lifestyle and that it goes beyond just what we sing on Sunday morning. So the singing part of our worship, honestly, the style of that, the flavor of that has to do with whoever we have available to serve and to use their giftedness in the body of Christ to lead others into His presence through singing, right? But that being said, currently, our worship style is pretty modern. I mean, we've got drums, guitars, keyboards, songs, we do all kinds of stuff with older hymns, with newer worship music. But really what the desire I have anyway as a pastor is to teach our people that worship is a lifestyle that we live. So part of that loving God and loving others, that's our way of worship. So we flesh that out in every way we possibly can, both together corporately, but also in the community at large. But when it comes to music, it's pretty modern. So yeah, at least from my vantage point,
Upbeat.
The kids would probably be like, your music is old, but but I like it. Yeah, it's upbeat, it's joyful, it's contemplative, it's meaningful. I don't like to sing songs just for fluff. I like for them to have some depth. And so, and Jesus is always our focus.
What programs and ministries does the church offer to other age groups?
So we have a pretty, I would consider anyway, we have a pretty robust children's and youth ministry. So we've got a part-time children's pastor here, Tammy Naderhood is her name. She's amazing. We have a full-time youth pastor here, Austin Patelin. Both of them are engaged in areas of their ministry outside of the church. So Tammy has done a lot of work with Young Lives, which is a ministry of young life. And Austin is a part-time Bible teacher at Christian Center School in Hayden. So both of them actively use their skills and abilities outside of the church body in the community. But we have Wednesday night kids group, we have Wednesday night youth group, we have Sunday discipleship groups for our youth and kids, events throughout the week and month, retreats, things of that nature. We also have women's Bible studies and men's Bible studies and ladies retreats and man camp every summer and all kinds of stuff that we try to do to engage every area of family life within the context of the church community.
How does your church engage with the local community and beyond?
So that honestly is probably my favorite part of being a pastor. I've been in pastoral ministry for over 20 years and 17 of those years have been as a lead pastor in this congregation and one prior to here. And especially as a lead pastor, it's been my desire to reach into our community, to open up our facility to the community in whatever way we possibly can. So this church, for example, we have a lot of community-based groups that meet in our facility that are not a part of our direct church ministry. So we have a plethora of AA groups, NA groups, Al-Anon groups. We have a Boy Scout troop that uses our facility. We have lacrosse clubs and baseball teams that use our field. We have a preschool that leases our lower level 5 days a week, and that to us is a part of ministry to engage with young people and families and to provide a safe place for their kids to come during the day. So that's a way that we reach into our community. Cars and Coffee is a part of our community engagement during the summer, just opening up our facility as a safe place for people from all walks of life to be able to bring their vehicles and show them off and enjoy relationship and fellowship. It's also a great fundraiser for our teens with the coffee and snacks part of it. So we look for opportunities. God has really blessed us here in Coeur d'Alene with 10 acres right in the middle of town and a large facility that we can put to use for the community. And so we love the fact that our building gets filled up during the week with neighborhood associations that use this as their meeting place. Just all kinds of different stuff that we're allowed to do. In addition to that, we partner with ministries locally like Second Chance Discipleship Ministries that works with homeless individuals and families. We partner with our Post Falls Nazarene Church, who has a strong relationship with Family Promise that ministers to homeless families. We engage in world missions. We have a gentleman in our church that has for years been building churches in Africa and helping provide roof materials for that. Recently helped them build a large school. So just engaging both in the local mission and the global mission is a big part of what we do. So,
How does your church approach outreach and evangelism?
So that's an interesting question. I've grown up in the church, and I think a lot of my younger years, I would be on door knocking teams that would go around the neighborhood, knock on doors, and ask people, hey, can we share Jesus with you? And to be honest with you, when I grew into an adult, I was scared to death of those types of methodologies. Not that they're bad, they're just not me. And so part of the work that I've done in pastoral ministry is teaching people how to build just honest relationships where Jesus and the gospel naturally becomes a part of the conversation simply because it's a part of your life. And so if you're truly following the way of Christ, then your life is going to be a testimony of the power of the gospel, and then you will have the opportunity to engage in conversation as you earn relational credibility with people. And that again for me goes back to the whole idea of God's love. When I'm truly learning to love God with all of my heart, soul, mind, and strength, and when I'm truly in turn learning to love my neighbor, then my neighbor it's not going to be a mystery that I'm following Jesus. Like, it's going to be a part of the conversation simply because it's part of the conversation of my life. It's the way that I live. My faith is a part of everything that I do. It's not compartmentalized and limited to worship on Sunday. It's, again, the expression of worship in every aspect of my life. And so for me, pastorally speaking, ideally, it's teaching people that whether you're at home, at school, at work, engaged in whatever relationships you're a part of, involved in whatever activities, whether it's with a car club or sports or whatever, you have the opportunity to influence lives for the kingdom simply because of who you are as a Jesus follower. And so our method of evangelism is to teach people to live out their faith in the context of everyday
Transparently.
life. Yeah, everyday life, no matter where you are and what you're doing. So yeah, and encouraging, equipping people, like when people ask you a question about what you believe, how do you share your testimony in a way that is understandable, the elevator speech of the gospel, so to speak. So I love that kind of stuff. Yeah.
When you're not in the church, what are you doing in North Idaho to enjoy the...
So that's a great question. I've lived here, my wife and I moved here from Portland, Oregon on January 1st of 1999. And so we've been here for 24 years, and we love this area. We love where we live. You know, I have a love for the outdoors, so when I have the opportunity, I love to hunt and fish. I love to go out in the woods as much as I can, camp with my family. I recently went back to school to finish my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. So part of my work in the community now, I'm actually a licensed counselor in the community, working part-time for Heritage Health in addictions counseling. And so that's a way for me to engage and get involved in my community. But I love everything about the community that we live. I don't complain about the growth. I understand why people want to move here. It's a beautiful place to live. And so just trying to get involved, you know, the car culture, as you know, of Coeur d'Alene is super fun to be involved in, with Cars and Coffee and with Coeur d'Alene and things of that nature. So I spend a lot of my time, free time in the last few years working on my 62 Dodge Dart or my 91 Corvette or other various projects that come my way. So just enjoying that culture of North Idaho. There's lots of places to cruise to, lots of car clubs to get involved with, and so that's always something I enjoy. But there's no limit in this community, whether it's winter, summer, of just engaging in the recreational opportunities with the lakes and the river and the mountains and all of the things that the area has to offer. It's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah. What's the real North Idaho mean to you?
Oh my goodness, that's a on-the-spot question. What's the real North Idaho mean to me? I think Idaho offers just a spirit of adventure for people who are willing to take part in it. I think living here would be a drag if you weren't an adventurous person, just because the area has so much to offer. And so for me, that adventure, that sense of adventure, is what North Idaho has to offer, the real North Idaho has to offer.
Well, thanks, Mark, for taking the time to meet with me.
You bet.
I look forward to this summer and Cars and Coffee.
Yeah, me too.
Getting back out here.
Yeah, can't wait for it. Thank you for the opportunity. It's great to have you guys here. Appreciate it.